Hey, did you say something to that sneaky little mother-in-law? Just this morning, I got this snarky text from her. This morning? Really? What did she say? Just so you know, I didn't say anything. She just said that for no other reason but to piss me off. I can't believe her. Who does she think she is? For Pete's sake. She gets bedridden, but her mouth never stops spewing nonsense. What did she say to you exactly? She said that if someone is going to take care of her, she'd rather have you than me. Can you believe that? She says I'm not at all meant for this kind of work, that I'm second-rate. Her words about taking care of people. I mean, please, who does she think she is? The Queen of England, for God's sake. I wouldn't look after that old battle axe if she begged me. Well, the past 10 years, I'm the only one that has been looking after her. Well, taking care of old ladies like that isn't what a normal person would do. That's the job of the rank and file. But to criticize the very person that's taking care of her, no respect whatsoever. That old malicious woman still thinks she's numero uno or something. Well, her husband passed away some time ago, so... But her saying she's number one, well, I think she may have a point. She is the head of the family after all. Actually, my husband is the head of the family. Normally, he would be the one to make all the decisions. Not some bedridden old lady. A man should run the family. That's how it's been for generations. Yes, well, I guess that's true, in a sense. That's why she's retained her power all these years. Everybody just let her get away with it. Her mother, I guess she'd be the grandmother-in-law that passed away early, so she's been on the throne. So to peak for quite some time. If only she'd get off that throne once and for all, and then I could do what I please. Actually, this family revolves around you. You seem to be making all the decisions. Without really consulting anyone, I must add. Well, my husband and my son are very loyal to me. What can I say? But that old in-law still has a say in everything important. I have no idea why they listened to her. When she got sick and bedridden, why didn't she just go senile? That would have solved all my problems. Yes, well, Grandma seems to be hanging on. She seems to have many years ahead of her. She said she's gonna live till she's 120. Boy, oh boy, she just won't give up, will she? I was told that if she fell ill, she probably wouldn't last long. I can't believe it's been 10 years since she'd been bedridden. Does she plan on living forever? She's like a big, ugly cockroach. A cockroach? Seriously? That's saying too much, don't you think? Well, she is, isn't she? Maybe we really need to fumigate this place once and for all. Why are you always taking that old bat's side? Is it because she's always doting on you? Are you her good little puppy? She's not doting on me. I take care of her every day. She showers me with wisecracks all the time. But you prefer that old hag over me, is that what you're saying? Well, she does seem to have taken a shine on her young daughter-in-law. As for me, I have no intention of nursing her. I'll leave that all up to you, my dear. But I've been doing it for 10 years already. There is a limit to how much I can do. When that old bat asks for you, what can you do, right? Good luck with that. Today was her doctor's visit, wasn't it? Did the doctor already leave? Yes, he just left a minute ago. What was his diagnosis? It seems Grandma's condition hasn't gotten worse in the last couple of days. The doctor says she may not have long left to live. He said that maybe she has a month or so left. Oh yeah? Are you serious? Yes. He asked me whether we would prefer her to meet her end at home or at the hospital. What should we do? At home, of course. I'm sure she'd prefer to be home, but there's a lot of work involved. We take her to the hospital would only cost money. It would be such a darn waste. They're always full up. She'll definitely be bumped up to one of those expensive private rooms. You're here to take care of things. Why waste the money and put her in the hospital? But the time I have to spend with her will just increase. I don't have time to spend 24/7 with her. I would have to keep an eye on her. You never know what will happen. I'm busy with my own home. I can't do this round the clock. Don't give me that sob fest. You're the youngest in the family. You have the energy. Anyway, she adores you. She would prefer that you take care of her, I'm sure. Oh, I almost forgot to ask you. Did you clear the driveway of all that snow? My husband is driving to the store later. I was just on my way out to do it. You haven't done it yet. It'll take you at least an hour to do it. You better get started. Just get it done before my husband leaves. You got that? Also, get that snow off the roof. That weight will damage the roof. Are you seriously saying that I do that too? Really? I really shouldn't be climbing up there. Maybe your husband should do it. You know, my husband has a bad back. You're the only one capable. Just lean the ladder up to it and poke it a few times. It'll slide down on its own. It's a man's job. How about your son? My son. He's too busy with work. I couldn't ask him to do it. Are you kidding me? And besides, he worked all day. He's exhausted. That snow has really piled up. It must weigh a ton. If that falls on me, I'm finished. It's really not a woman's job. There are limits to what I can do. This winter brought more snow than expected. I really need help doing both the driveway and the roof. If you have energy to complain all day long, grab that shovel and start working, for God's sake. It's starting to snow again. Wait any longer and you'll have twice as much snow to clear away. All right, I'll do it. And don't forget about the old battle axe. Don't forget about her. Just do as you're told, Cindy, and all will be fine. Boy, oh boy, I'm exhausted. I never thought a funeral would be so strenuous. Yes, a lot of people showed up for Grandma. I hope she finally got peace. I never thought that old hag would go. She really hung on till the bitter end, didn't she? What a stubborn old bat. Caused such trouble for everyone, even during her own funeral. Can you believe it? Please, Mother, don't say that about Grandma. It's right after her funeral. Have some respect. Please. Don't worry about it. She's gone. She can't hear a thing. And so what if she hears? There is nothing she can do about it. Have a little sympathy for Grandma, would you? Everyone was so critical of her. Even after her death, don't you have any compassion? Well, it's a fact that she was a troublesome presence the past 10 years. Always complaining and giving orders. Now it's my turn. I'm the boss around here now. First on the agenda is to get this entire house cleaned up. Yes, there's quite a bit of Grandma's things in the house. The garage is full of Grandma's paintings, too. All the work she did when she taught art at the university. It may take a bit of time to sort everything out. There's more than that to sort out. Pardon me? What else is there? One thing we need to throw out right away is you, Cindy. Wait, me? Why me? Grandma is dead and gone, never to return. No need for you to be here anymore. So I suggest you pack your things and get out of this house. No need for me? What are you talking about? I took care of Grandma for the past 10 years, and that's what I get in return. Tell me you're joking. Where's your gratitude, for heaven's sake? We don't need a collaborator in this house. A collaborator? What are you talking about? You sided with that bitter old hag. That makes you a collaborator. The only people I want in my house are people who are loyal to me, and to me alone. I don't want people in my house that collaborated with her. How could you say that? I've always put the family first. Oh, right. Now that the old bat is gone, you change your tune. Now you say you're on my side. Please have a little self-esteem. I'm not changing my tune. I have always felt this way. I know what you're trying to do, Cindy. You were always her favorite, sweet-talking you and trash-talking us. You guys are like two peas in a pod. Even during her final days, she said she preferred you over me. Yes, because she genuinely felt I cared for her. But you only showed disdain. Nevertheless, she intimidated me on numerous occasions. No, you were always on her side, always sticking up for her. I see right through you, Cindy. No matter what I do or say, the truth of the matter is, you just don't like me, isn't that right? You think I didn't feel your animosity toward me? And there is another reason why you hate me, and it's not about Grandma. That's right. I hate everything about you, Cindy. I was weary of you from the very first day you came to my house, and my son introduced you. Yes, how can I forget that hatred in your eyes? You looked at me with that grimace on your face like you were looking at some dirty stray dog. But it was my husband that proposed to me. He loved me and wanted to marry me. I didn't become part of this family for you. My son was conned into marrying you. You somehow tricked him into it. Why would he marry a woman like you? You were only 18 at the time. I always wondered why he would even propose to a child like you. Maybe it was in a fit of youthful passion, as they say. I couldn't accept the fact that you were only a teenager and a high school dropout at that. You were not meant to be a part of our family. And as my son's wife, my daughter-in-law, you never fulfilled your duties of a wife. By duties, are you referring to the fact that I can't have kids? Yes, that's right. What value are you to our family when you can't even provide us with an heir? You're useless. Besides, I'm expecting a new daughter-in-law. You're no longer needed. I'm going to have her take over all your duties, so off you go. A new daughter-in-law? What are you talking about? I found the perfect new wife for my son. She's picture perfect. Oh, and just so you know, about this new daughter-in-law, my husband and son are in full agreement, so no use crying to them for help. It's all been decided. Are you serious? Even my husband? Yup, they both said you were useless and just taking up space. Well, if everyone feels that way, I guess you have no other option, huh? Too bad that old hag is gone. She was the only ally you had. I see. Everything is crystal clear to me now. I'll be out of your hair right away. I have no desire to stay where I'm not wanted. My goodness, I'm so relieved. I thought you were going to go into a long and boring emotional appeal. I wasn't in the mood for any of that. That's about your only saving grace. You give up easily. Now that old hag and the useless daughter-in-law are gone, I'm free to do whatever I want. That's just wonderful. Congratulations. I hope you'll be able to live a long and prosperous life. I think I've reached my limit. I can't go on any longer. I need you to come home right now. I mean it, Cindy. Excuse me? You want me to come back there? Why would I do that? I'm already divorced. I have no relationship with your family anymore. Goodbye. Please don't cut me off. I need you to come home, please. Tell me, why the hell would I go back to see your face? Besides, the new daughter-in-law is right there. Ask her for whatever you're panicking about. That's the problem. She just up and disappeared. Pardon me? Disappeared? She left. She packed her stuff up and left. That's what I'm saying. Now, why would she do that? I thought she was overjoyed to be joining your family. What was it that you said? She's picture perfect? Your son and husband both greeted her with open arms, right? What's the problem? Soon after he divorced you and married her, a month or so later, he was caught cheating with some woman. Are you serious? Since when was he seeing this woman? Apparently he was seeing her for years. What makes it even worse is that this woman, she was married. Really? That was pretty foolish on his part. The woman's husband got a hold of some lawyer now and he's demanding that we pay damages. I just received a letter from the lawyer. They're demanding $50,000. Can you believe it? I see. That's why his new wife up and disappeared. I don't blame her. I would not be able to stand even being in the same room with such a husband. She did the right thing in my opinion. With all the ruckus, it really affected my husband. He had a stroke and is in the hospital now. Your husband had a stroke? Is he okay? The doctor said a blood vessel in his brain bust. It might have caused long-term disability. On top of that, they found a whole slew of other ailments. He apparently also has liver damage and cancerous growth in his stomach. Oh my goodness. You sure have a lot on your plate. You don't seem all that distressed. This is serious, you know. How can you be so calm? Yeah, it sounds very serious. He's still in bad shape. The doctor said he may not walk again. The whole family has to take care of him now. How could this happen? First this payment for damages and then my husband gets sick. On top of that, our home is half destroyed. Pardon me? Half destroyed? What do you mean? As you know, this winter was just awful. It snowed more than usual. Well, as a result, the roof gave in. It couldn't hold all that weight. And now there's a huge hole in the living room. Fortunately, we were able to rent a small house nearby until we can get it fixed. They told me it's going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000. We can't afford that, for God's sake. Didn't you clear the snow from the roof? Well, I left that to my new daughter-in-law, but she said she would take care of it, but apparently she forgot about it or something. Suddenly, we had nowhere to live. It was only pure luck that the house down the street was vacant. But it took time for them to get the electricity turned on. All we had was the fireplace. I'm so sorry to hear that. We spent close to $100,000 5 years ago to renovate the entire house. As you can imagine, we're currently so far into debt, I don't know what to do. Please, come back to us. Let's get the old family back on track. What do you say? Sorry, gonna pass on that. How could you say that? I just explained everything. You heard what I said. We're in trouble. I know. That's why I was so happy to hear all your woes. I was acting as if I didn't know anything, but to tell you the truth, I knew all about it. I figured it would turn out this way. I could see it a mile away. You knew about it? What are you saying? I knew you were a little slow, but come on, haven't you figured it out? How do you think your son's lady friend's husband found out about the two of them? And it was right about the time I was kicked out of your family. Didn't you think it was too much of a coincidence? Excuse me. Are you saying that it was you who spilled the beans about my son's affair? I pretty much knew that he was seeing someone when we were married. He was always late coming home, and he wouldn't respond when I asked him things. He seemed out of it. I also happened to see some line messages he had with that woman. You have got to be kidding me! Right after you and your family chased me out, I did a little checking and found out who this woman was. Long story short, I contacted her husband and told him all about his cheating wife. Only one who told him to sue for damages. What can I say? I wanted more than anything else to see you guys squirm. That was all you. You did this. You're saying this is to get back at us? This is your idea of revenge? Oh, well, it's not only about getting chased out, but also for all the times you treated me like dirt. I was at your beck and call every day. You made me do all the chores. I took care of your grandmother for 10 years. I had a grudge against you and your family for a very long time. That's why you did this. Oh, and I basically knew that your husband was ill. You take care of people long enough and you notice little things. He was not well for a long time. What are you saying? You knew and said nothing. Your husband was always complaining about some ailment or another. I figured he was suffering some major illness, liver trouble for sure. After seeing what you cooked for him, and then you told me he had a blood clot, well, it seemed the inevitable outcome. Then why didn't you speak up? We could have done something about it before all this. Actually, I told your husband to go see a doctor countless times. I think I even mentioned it to you several times. But who's going to listen to me, right? I'm just a maid. But if you had been more assertive, if you had put up more of a stink, he wouldn't be in the condition he's in. I wasn't obligated to go that far. Anyway, I knew you guys were planning to chase me out one day. I figured it wasn't my business whether you people got sick or died. I didn't want any part of it, so I ignored it. But I really didn't expect him to become ill so soon. Thought he had a few more years. I never expected you to lose the house, too. That was totally unexpected. You're a real nasty piece of work, Cindy. Oh, yeah, the roof falling in. Oh, wow. That was also an unexpected icing on the cake. It's as if I hit the jackpot. This is what they call sweet revenge. How could you say that? You're lucky nobody was hurt when the roof caved. Somebody could have died. Don't you have any sympathy? I never thought those words would come out of your mouth. You were so happy when Grandma died. You were overjoyed. I remember you were always making jokes about her kicking the bucket. Remember saying that? She's my grandmother. I have a right to say such things. Really? Who gave you that right? I suffered greatly under her when I was young. Then I could say the same thing about you. I had it even worse than you. I was surrounded by unappreciative people harassing me from all sides, day in and day out. My husband never supported me. He was too busy with his mistress. All I thought about day and night was when I would get justice. When will I see their demise? That day arrived today, and it feels glorious. You are worse than my grandmother. I can't believe that you would go this far to exact revenge. I didn't realize you were such a merciless, uncaring individual. You are pathetic. Right back at you, Mother. I'm so happy I finally escaped this wretched family. I later heard that my former mother-in-law was busy taking care of her husband. Her husband's condition worsened over the next several months. He's mostly comatose now, unable to move or eat on his own. The nursing conditions are even more difficult than when Grandma was bedridden. I heard the hardship of taking care of her husband really took a toll on her. As for my ex-husband, he's hard at work paying off his debts. That little love affair turned out to be an expensive endeavor. I doubt there's a woman out there that would want to marry a guy like that. Too much excessive baggage. It looks like that pathetic family will go on suffering the consequences of their actions for the foreseeable future. But I'm not quite finished yet. I plan on talking to a lawyer to figure out a way to get some compensation from him for the emotional distress he caused. I later received a letter from my mother-in-law saying she regretted how she treated me and wanted my forgiveness. But I tore that letter up into tiny pieces and sent it right back to her. Did she really think I would forgive her for all the pain she had caused? My primary goal was to see the demise of that family. I wasn't going to give in now.